Hey guys, what's up? All right, so this is just a really quick video giving you some pointers and tips, tutorial, if you will, on our standing twist pose. So a standing twist, I'm gonna show you what it looks like first, and then I'm gonna walk you through how to get into it, and then follow it up with muscle engagement, alignment, body alignment, and eye gaze. So our standing twist is here. This is your standing twist. Okay, I'm going to show you from the front. Standing twist. Alrighty. Okay, so how do we get into this standing twist? So typically you're going to come into it from a mountain pose. Mountain pose is going to simply be with the feet about shoulder width, hip width apart. Depends on your personal stance. You just don't want them to be further than shoulder or hip width apart. So we want them about here, here, maybe even here, but never here. These are outside of my shoulders. All right. And then you're going to reach for the sky. This is our mountain pose. Feet planted firmly into the ground. And then from here, we are going to lift up one of our legs. So you want to note that once you lift up the leg, first thing you're going to do is you're going to activate your foot. What that means is you're simply going to point your toes towards you. So instead of your foot being limp, it's going to be flexed. Next thing, we want to check in with where is our leg? So we want our knee to be in line with our hip. This is going to be as high as you want to come. So you never want to be up here. You always want to make sure that you have that nice straight line so you're not overextending or hyperextending any of your joints. All right, so now that we've got that figured out, also the leg can be lower than that. Maybe you're not as sure-footed on one foot as some others. That's totally okay. Remember, all practice is progress. You will get there in time. You will develop better balance. That's kind of the point of these videos. So if you need to be about here, then that's okay too. Know that you're just working your way to here. So now that you've got your balance, you're standing up, you're here, but you notice, oh, I'm kind of wobbly. I can't find my footing. I keep falling, so I can't even get into the twist. Okay, so I'm gonna switch feet. That's totally okay too. So what we're gonna do there is we're gonna just simply place our hands, press the palms to touch, and then bring them to your heart center. So that's gonna bring your center of balance more to your center rather than where you're balancing from your fingertips all the way down to your toes. You're simply just balancing more or less from your shoulders down. All right. Next, we're going to take the left hand, or same hand, same leg, on the hip, opposite hand, opposite leg, comes to the outside of the thigh. We're going to find some length in the spine, stand up nice and tall. And then from here, just start to twist your body. So you're twisting from your core, your torso area. You're not twisting your body. Your whole body is what I should say. So now we're here, we're like, okay, all right. So your gaze, which I'll come back to that in a second. So now we're here. And then from there, well, maybe we feel good. And we're like, okay, let me go ahead and extend that back arm. Awesome. There you have it. Now that you're here, you check back in, you're like, okay, oh, I dropped my leg a little bit, so let me go ahead and try and get that back up. I'm slouching, so I'm gonna go ahead and lengthen back out. Awesome. Now we're going to touch on your eye gaze and our muscle engagement. Okay. So we're in our mountain. We're moving to our one-legged mountain. So now that I'm here, remember, if you can't find balance here, you're not going to find balance here. So give yourself the time that you need. You know, just start where you are. Meet yourself where you are. If all you've got is here, then okay. Then you work towards getting here, then maybe here, then maybe here. See what I'm saying? Practice is progress. Okay, back to the matter at hand. Okay, so we're in our one-legged mountain. So my gaze is directly in front of me. I have a soft gaze. I'm not staring very hard at something. I'm just lightly glancing at about a foot radius of an area, which is what I mean by a soft gaze. So you're not honing in on one little point, you're honing in on a nice little area. Okay, so you've got your gaze. You can also, if that's too much for you, if you find that you're still feeling very wobbly, you can always shift your gaze down to the ground. So when I shift my gaze down to the ground, I'm going to be, so let's say right now, we're at the top of our mats. Or even if you're in the middle, rule of thumb is you want to take your gaze about 3 feet in front of you. So I'm right here in the middle of my mat right now. So my gaze is going to be about here. And what that's going to do for you is it's just going to kind of help you, you know, because when you, as your gaze lifts up, you start to realize, oh my gosh, I'm only on one foot. How am I going to do this? It's kind of like when you go up very high, you don't notice how high you are until you look down and you're like, holy guacamole, we're up so high. It's kind of the same thing, you know, you're looking down at the ground, you're like, oh, okay, well, this is easy. But then as soon as you look up, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only on one foot. Like it kind of snaps into realization for you. And then once you've gotten it and you're like, okay, I feel good here, then maybe you start to shift your gaze from here to here, to here, to here, to eye level. Remember, practice is progress, so move at your pace, not where you think you should be, but where you actually are. And maybe you're actually here looking down at the ground for the next 40 times that you try to do this pose. It's okay. So once you're there, we've got our gaze alignment, whether it's in front of you on the ground or in front of you eye level. Then we're going to place one hand on the hip, same hand, same hip, opposite hand, opposite thigh. Then from here we find some length. The way we're going to find length is we're going to engage our cores to straighten out the spine. Then I'm going to check in with my leg, with my foot. My toes are spread nice and wide, and I've also got them where they're almost kind of gripping into the mat, not where they're like holding the mat as though like if you were like trying to pick up a sock or something off of the ground, but where you're just using them to like plant firmly into the mat. On my mat, I have the bottom part of my feet. It's kind of hard for you to see, I'm sure. So I've got this part of my foot and this, my heel. That is what I'm balancing myself on. Okay. So we're back in our one-legged mountain. I've got my toes spread as wide as they will go. I'm pressing firmly into the ground with my heel. And as I'm pressing down into the ground with my heel, I'm lengthening through my leg. While I'm lengthening through my leg, it automatically causes me to engage my quad muscle, my hamstring muscle, and the glute of the leg that I'm standing on. So I'm gonna switch sides really quick. So once I'm here, I'm automatically engaging this part of my leg, then this, then my glute, then my core activation comes in to help with my balance. And there's my one-legged mountain. Now, back to this side. So we're here, we've got our one-legged mountain. Feeling our muscles engaging, we're breathing. And then we move into our twist. Stay here for a second. Allow yourself to refocus. Find your focal point if you lost it. Come back to your breath. Like, okay, I've been here for a breath, I'm good. Take your inhale, create some space. As you're exhaling, start to take your twist. And I want you to just follow my eyes really quick. So notice I'm here in my twist. My eyes are in front of me. And then I slowly, as I'm blinking, start to shift them towards the direction to my floating arm. Ideally, you want to try and get your gaze all the way over the shoulder of your floating arm. But remember, practice is progress. You'll get there when you're ready. That's it. That's all we got for this standing twist. I hope that it was helpful. If there's any other questions or something that I didn't quite touch on, I mean, you know, sometimes I film these videos and I'm like, oh, that was great, I did such a good job. And then I go back and watch it and I'm like, I completely skipped how to get from point B to C and went straight to, you know, D. So yeah, just let me know, questions, comments. You know, I'm always here for feedback. I love it all. All right, see ya.